everybody, and welcome to Experiment P16 and another episode of Kayla's Key to the Kingdom. Today, I have a special guest.
Hello, everybody. Well, I feel like I need to say welcome to Experiment P16 because that's usually how I start them, but this is your baby, and you've been doing amazing with it so far, and I'm happy that you're letting us come on. And
Do you want to, there might be people that are just kind of showing down.
Your fans, I forgot about that. So my name's Jordan. I'm in a lot of the other videos.
He says he's the talent.
I do, because I am. But not in this segment. Kayla's definitely the talent in this one, because she's the most knowledgeable. I have to kind of include my mum in that a little bit as well, because I don't want to get
this
upset.
Is nobody wrong.
She's very, very knowledgeable when it comes to Disney and the things, and that's kind of why when we were discussing you doing this segment,
That's why you married me too.
Yeah, this was why we discussed doing it, was because Kayla's got a lot of knowledge, and she's very helpful when it comes to planning Disney trips and stuff, so I'm ready to get into it. So what we're talking about today then?
So today we're going to talk about how to plan a Magical Babymoon.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Jordan and I would consider ourselves, experts now.
What did we say in the video? It was Disney Pros, didn't we?
Yeah, Disney Pros.
We'll leave a link. So last May, we did a Disney trip, and all the videos to that are on the channel. We went out a little bit early, didn't we? To do this baby moon. I had never even heard of the phrase baby moon before that.
Typically, a baby moon is something that you do to relax and unwind. Good thing about me during my pregnancy though was that relax and unwind was more like let's trek around Epcot and go around the world,
Yeah.
Not like let's go to a nice lounge chair at the beach and
There was very little relaxing.
So this is definitely for the more on-the-go mom that can definitely put up with it. I'm sure there are a lot of things you can do that are very relaxing, because believe me, we did some relaxing too.
Definitely.
But we also trekked around Epcot.
And the good thing is, we discussed it beforehand, was a lot of people have that kind of worry of not wanting to go and do these kinds of big vacations and stuff when they are close to having their baby. You were 7 months pregnant at the time, so very, very far on in a pregnancy, and it didn't change the experience. That's slightly that's not correct, I suppose. It changed it a little bit, but it changed it in a way that for me was more enjoyable.
We saw Disney from a different side.
Yeah, and it was really, really good, because usually, like she said, when you go to Disney, it's kind of all action all the time.
It's go, 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 go.
And this, even though I was struggling to keep up with you at times, it was a lot more kind of relaxed, like you said, and we were still able to do everything that we wanted to. Other than obviously some of the rides and stuff that you couldn't go on, but we went on.
But you couldn't not do them.
No, I know.
We did go with Jordan's family, so we were able to enjoy it, where I could relax for a little bit, but Jordan could keep going.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
And even if they hadn't been there, I could have still gone on, and that's the beauty. You can just still, single riders and stuff like that. You can still go on the rides. But I didn't personally want to do that. I enjoyed kind of going at that steady pace and kind of actually taking Disney in.
Yeah, hurry up and get here, because I need to go on Tower or something. It's driving me insane. It's driving me really crazy.
Instead of rushing from one end of the park to the next to do things. The good thing with the Baby Moon was we were booking fast passes for rides that aren't necessarily, they're not 90-minute waits, let's just say that. And
Fast pass worthy.
Yeah, we were booking fast passes for them because we could book fast passes, and it meant that we could get on the ride and get on and off quick and then go and do something else. But we were doing it at our own pace, and it was an enjoyable pace.
Definitely. So I think one thing that really helped us out with making sure we had a magical and successful baby moon was the beforehand prep.
Yeah.
So one of the big things is we definitely got a letter from my doctor to make sure I was cleared to fly.
Yeah.
So definitely a big thing that you want to do and stuff, because some airlines will require that you have that letter.
And that's just to make sure that they're aware of, one, how far along you are, and two, if you've got any requirements and stuff. And I know when we flew, they were very accommodating and stuff like that as well, you know, with bringing you water and stuff like that constantly on the flight. And that kind of eased us a lot before we even got there.
Definitely. Another thing I really suggest is compression socks, because again, you're not getting up and walking a whole lot on an airplane typically, especially like for us from New Hampshire to Florida, it's only a 3-hour flight, so I mean, you just tend to stick in your seat. It's not really, it's like not long at all.
Yeah.
So.
But for the people that, I mean, for example, my sister, who at the time was pregnant.
3 months?
Yeah, I think she was about 3 months, 3 months in, and her flight was a 9-hour long haul flight. So, no matter what the length is, I definitely suggest the compression socks, just because the last thing you're gonna want. I mean, you're already gonna be kind of aching. You said yourself, your feet were swelling very, very quickly and very regularly, and that kind of stopped that getting too bad. And they weren't even expensive. I think we got them from
$9.
yeah, and I know some airlines give them. I've been on planes before where they've given them in kind of the little welcome pack that you get, but for the sake of $9, probably in the UK you're probably talking around about £7 or £8 for the ones that you're gonna need. They're definitely a must.
No, definitely. Another thing I suggest is also any like medication, anything that's helping you as far as like, because again, if you're staying on property and stuff, there's only so much you can get on property, especially if you're not getting a rent-a-car. The first 2 nights that me and Jordan were there, we stayed on property, and then the rest of the time we stayed in a villa with his family down there. But again, you never know how accessible stores are gonna be, especially when you have like busy things planned and stuff at restaurants. I mean, we had a full schedule before this baby moon.
Yeah.
So definitely any medications that you have, you want to have and stuff, anything for nausea or anything like that, definitely bring with you. I mean, some of the pregnancy pops, those are great, especially if you're still nauseous.
Yeah.
Jack had me nauseous through the whole pregnancy, so it wasn't even just like I experienced it for like, you know, the first 8 weeks. It was like, you know, the first 8 months.
And the other thing that we read, but we didn't really do, because I mean we had, you know, access to so much to kind of buy when we were in there, but a lot of the sites that we were kind of consulting before we went were talking about making sure that water and stuff, we had the mugs, the refillable ones, so we could go and get drinks and everything whenever we wanted, but people were talking about bringing snacks with them, because you know, you want to make sure that one, your blood's up, like your blood sugar's up, but obviously, you know fine well you're gonna get hungry when you're walking around the parks and stuff as well.
I also suggest, although I forgot mine, but I would have been more grateful had I remembered it, is a Brita water bottle. So the Brita water bottles actually filter the water for you, but if you go to any quick service in Disney, you can ask for a glass of water for free. Actually, even sometimes Starbucks will even have the small glasses of ice water like ready to go, just so you can just walk in and grab them.
Yeah.
But definitely it's good to know that you can get that there, because you want to stay very hydrated when you're in that Florida heat and you're pregnant. So there was a couple other things, I'm just trying to remember what it was.
I'd probably say the best thing that you got going into like prep wise for the trip was the sandals that you used.
Nice nukes.
And they, I mean, when she bought them, I kind of, you know, when we went and picked them up, I kind of laughed a little bit at them, because I was looking going, I mean, they're made out of repurposed yoga mats, and when you look at them, they don't look comfortable at all. But you said to walk in them.
It's like little clouds.
It was, and she never, and I don't know if it was just kind of the adrenaline kicking in when you were in Disney, but you didn't complain once about your feet. The whole time that we were there, and she wore them basically the whole time.
My feet were swollen.
They were, but I mean,
but I didn't complain about that.
That was yeah.
It just comes with pregnancy.
Yeah.
So. Surprise if you haven't reached that level yet.
But I mean, something like that. I mean, how much did they cost you?
Those were my most expensive piece of the trip, I think. Like, well, for the the things I purchased and stuff, I think they might have been around $60. I'll be honest with you.
But I'm sure you could probably find versions of them.
Tell me how much they are.
Yeah. Do you imagine? But I imagine it's a bit like anything else. I mean, you paid for the Sanuk brand. There's got to be other versions of those.
I don't know. I don't know if I would cheap out on shoes. They're not even pregnant. No, I wouldn't cheap out. I'd get a good pair of walking shoes because I mean it is a lot of walking if you're planning on doing the park stuff. Right. You don't want to just go for an alternative brand because it might match up. But when you're going to do that, you want to have something that you can confirm a little bit more. And I definitely recommend, which I definitely did because I just liked sandal in general. I got a nice burgundy one. It was really cute. Is wearing them beforehand. Just break them in a little bit. Yeah. Definitely helps. Even if you're just wearing them around the house for a couple hours a day before you go.
And that's what you did before we went to kind of get used to them. And we went through. I mean, hopefully you guys won't have this issue. And we had them in the end, but when we got there. The first day we were looking for them.
And we thought we lost them, or we didn't bring them.
The sorrow that went through my mind, thinking, I can't believe the one thing that she was so happy with having, we didn't have. Turns out we had just, overpacked.
He gave me his shoes, I mean.
Yeah, believe me, and any kind of, anyone on my side of this, that's a sacrifice that you'll have to make if you make this mistake. But no, we had just kind of overpacked them, hadn't we? And they were in
the zipper part
of our suitcase. And that's probably going to lead into my next thing is doing another thing that you did very well was kind of segregating your packing into knowing what you're going to wear each day's. And packing comfortable clothes. You packed very, very. You always do when we go away. You always pack very efficiently. I don't know if you want to.
I don't unpack it very efficiently.
You don't unpack no. When it goes back in the case on the way home, it's kind of packed with misery. But no, I personally, I mean, I know I didn't pack mine, but you kind of, it relieved your stress. Because you knew what you were going to be wearing each day, because obviously we planned what parks we were going to.
Which is another huge thing. Make sure to do plan it beforehand because it's one less thing you have to worry about when you get there. And then, I mean, there are ones that you can just I would at least recommend definitely plan dine-in at least. Because, I mean, you can definitely enjoy Babymoon and not have maybe all your rides and fast passes put together if you don't want to. Yeah. But fast passes do save a lot of time as far as knowing, hey, I can get on this, this, and this. And then if I want the rest of the day to maybe just go back to the hotel and relax at the pool, I can do that.
Yeah, it's kind of checking off the things that you can do that you want to do as early as possible. Because then, like you say, we did it. We went round after we did the rides that we wanted to go on in all of the parks. And just kind of walked around and had a look, and we
did some character meet and greets.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I mean, I can honestly say I don't think I've met that many characters since I was very, very young. Because when you get older, you just kind of don't. You move on to other things.
He speaks for himself.
Yeah. There is a lot of people out there like me that are kind of, when you get older, you want to go on the rides and stuff. That's why you've paid the money to kind of go. But don't get me wrong, as much as I kind of gave you a hard time about the fact that we had fast. Who was it that we had?
Tinkerbell?
Yeah, we had a fast pass booked to go and meet Tinkerbell. And when I saw that on the My Disney experience, I thought, this can't be real. Like,
He's like, where's my $7 mine?
what is going on here? But it was actually really fun, and it's something that, again, you wouldn't usually do if we hadn't gone when you were pregnant. And that's why I'd recommend Babymoons to anyone that, you know, anyone that loves Disney, that is planning, you know, thinking about going during their pregnancy. To me, it's a no-brainer, really.
Oh yeah. No, we had a blast. And I mean, the prep definitely helped, because I feel like without that prep we would have been maybe semi-lost, or like maybe not had as great a time. I could have been a little bit more miserable had I not had the proper footwear. But I think that definitely helped.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we've talked about prep. Now it's time to talk about things to do at Disney. And we're going to start with a major one, which is the rides.
Yeah.
So one thing, and I mean this kind of intertwines with prep, is knowing before you go what kind of rides you can go on and what kind of rides you can't go on. A big heads up first is anything that has the word mountain in it, you can cross that right off. Like, you're not allowed to go on that. That's a good thing why, at least, you know, the Frozen ride has no mention of mountain. It feels like a small mountain, but it doesn't have the word mountain in there.
I'll be honest, I was very surprised at some of the rides that we went on, that they said that it was safe for you to go on, because we were looking. I mean, any of the dark rides are fine. The likes of, I mean, you want
to explain dark rides.
Well, dark rides, like, you know, like your Peter Pan, It's a Small World, things like that. Rides that are the slow kind of go through a storybook ride, basically, yeah. And the two that surprised me a lot were the one that you just mentioned there, Frozen, because that's got a very steep drop. And to me, I know Splash Mountain's steeper, but to me, that's a steep drop for for them to say that it was okay with pregnancy, but it was fine. And the other one was Pirates of the Caribbean, the new version, since they've added their little kind of bumpy drops as well. Those both kind of surprised me, and I.
Was that new? I didn't think that was very new.
Yeah, I don't think it's been in there all the time.
I just don't think that we just don't recognize it when you're not looking for it. You know
nah,
what I mean?
maybe. But I gave you my opinion on it when we were there, and I was basically saying, I don't think we should be going on this. But there's no signs to say that it's not safe, and
Rachel got to go on Star Tours. I was going on
Do
Frozen.
you know what? And I will say, that didn't have anything on it to say that you couldn't.
No, that did.
No, at the front it didn't. There was no sign until we got to the front of the ride, if you remember rightly, because we all walked on that ride.
Yeah.
And we got to the very front. And this is the thing that is you kind of want to use the Disney Experience app, but I'd also suggest going online and seeing if there's anything, you know, forum-wise, that kind of experience. Videos like this, because I know that we're not the only ones that are giving this advice, but I mean, videos like this are perfect for you guys that want to plan these things, because a lot of people will go and just look for the signs on the rides. And we did that and got all the way to the front of Star Tours, and then I don't even think it was a sign, I think it was in the announcement.
Bubble, wasn't it? Oh, was it?
I can't remember.
I thought it was like
but all I know is we were in the sections to go on the ride. And that's
I walked
when
onto the ride and then I walked through.
You walked through and got off the other side. And Rachel, and I suppose again it's you were 7 months pregnant and you were like, I don't want to take this risk. And Rachel was fine on it, don't get me wrong, but I would just say be careful with that type of thing, because sometimes it's not very clear.
It's definitely up to the discretion of the person, I feel like, for certain things. But if you have any time you're questioning it, don't be afraid to ask the cast member that's there, because they'll be open and honest on their opinion anyway, or what they've been told about the ride of what you should and shouldn't do.
And that kind of leads us into the final thing of, it's kind of like a joint thing. The cast members that we interacted with were so helpful with kind of explaining you know, what we can do, how they can help us and things like that. But on top of that, we, and this kind of connects to what I was about to say, was we took a lot of photos, pregnancy photos, which we'll put in and around the screen now so you can see. But they were all suggested by the cast members and photographers that we had.
Yeah.
The ones in front of, the ones in the hub,
yeah,
all we wanted to do was kind of stand and, you know, take pictures with my hands on her belly, and the only one we really had was me kind of, I think it was the cupping, like holding from the side and holding her stomach, and they came up with some really, really cool ideas. They had me down kissing your belly, and
there's all kinds
the
of
guy
ideas.
that we had in the hub, I wish,
excellent.
we
Yeah.
both said when we came out with it, we wish we'd asked for his name because he was unbelievable.
We even had a moment when we were taking pictures near the purple wall.
Yeah.
And then I was taking pictures with my phone, just of we got Jack a set of ears, which is something you can get for your new Musketeer as well.
Yeah.
So we got him with his name on him, which he's going to wear on his first trip. And we got him a Mickey, the baby blue one of Baby Mickey. And we put him next to the purple wall and got his first picture next to the purple wall because...
Anybody that knows us knows why we're as connected to the purple wall as we are.
Our story.
And again, it's in one of our videos, and we'll link that up here, or here. I can't remember which side it's ever on.
I think it's always on this side.
Yeah, we'll just say it's this side.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
photo pass photographer. So she saw me taking pictures. She took a picture of me taking a picture, and then
Yeah.
asked us if we wanted pictures. Then she took some pictures
And
of the stuff.
that was a nice capture that we didn't ask for, and they just loved what we were doing and knew that we were trying to capture a very, very special moment. And
Just came over and just
continued
continued the magic for us.
And that's the main reason I'd say to anybody that's thinking about doing this is it creates so many memories. When you eventually have your child,
You can go recreate these photos.
which
or,
we're
like,
going to do
things.
when we go in May, and it's going to be amazing being able to kind of go back to these things and doing them with him. But we can also then show him when he's older that, and you can do this with your babies as well, show them the pictures that you took on your baby moon and show them that their first Disney trip was
before they
were even born. And that's why I loved it. I thought it was beforehand. I thought it was. I was very concerned about like your well-being and your health and stuff, but afterwards, I would not be worried to do that in the future.
No, not at all. I look forward to our next baby moon.
Yeah.
And this time Jack will be involved too.
Yeah.
So.
And that kind of wraps it up. But
Yeah.
I think we've kind of covered everything that we did. And like,
Definitely one thing too is don't be afraid or think that it's lame to
Yeah.
get any Disney inspired shirts for your baby moon, because we had one that Jordan's mom got me. It said Beauty and the Bump. That was really cute. We got some pictures in too and stuff like that, and a couple other ones I can't remember. I got my due in July one for my due date and stuff, and to get your bump a pin.
I was just about I just remembered that. So everyone, again, all the big Disney fans, people that don't know, you can go when you get there. So if you're going for your first visit, if you're going for your anniversary, if you're going for birthday, you can go in to the main one's probably in Town Square, in the town hall bit, but you can go into pretty much any store now. I want to say in Magic Kingdom anyway.
Yeah, mostly, but usually you want to go into Town Hall.
Yeah.
Or the front desk of your Disney resort. But yeah, if you ask any cast member if you're having a hard time finding any of these locations, you can usually just ask a cast member and they'll point you in the right direction. Also, when you're walking into Magic Kingdom, if you get there first thing early in the morning, there's somebody out there with a box of pins, and that will help you as well.
And all we did was we got one for ourselves that trip as well. Didn't we took
said ours is celebrating our baby moon, and
yeah.
then we got the Jack.
All we did was we went in and said, can we have
my first
visit, and we just wrote on bump. I mean, you can write the if you've picked the name of your child already, you can put that on it.
I wanted him to have one for his first visit and get it himself when we went.
When we physically go with him.
That's why I did bump and stuff, and also for photos. But again, these make great little props to put on with when you're taking pictures and stuff.
And again, the cast members loved it.
Yeah.
They were so enthusiastic about seeing it.
So I think that about wraps it up for how to plan a magical baby moon. I mean, we can definitely touch more into the subject maybe another time, but I think for right now, I think we wrapped our brain quite well around the subject.
It covers pretty much everything that you know, the basics that you would need to think about when you're planning one.
So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we want you guys to continue to be with us through these awesome episodes and through the rest of the content that's on this channel, because there's some pretty good videos where, you know, the talent is doing his magic.
Yeah.
And definitely, if you liked this video or if it was helpful in any way, give it a thumbs up and like it. Make sure you hit that bell so you get the notifications and when more videos like this are going up. Comment if you have any questions, anything that maybe you have tips for that we could try out the next time, if you guys have already been on a baby moon. Or if you just want to say hi, go ahead, comment below.
And let us know if you've got any kind of ideas or things you want Kayla to talk about in future episodes. Because like we said, she's very knowledgeable.
But I'm also very new to this, like, YouTube.
Yeah, but she's doing amazing. And let her know in the comments that she's doing a really good job as well. But yeah, just let us know if you've got anything that you'd like to discuss and talk about that you'd like some advice on.
And that wraps it up.
That's pretty much good.
See you in the lab.
See you in the lab, guys. The two that surprised me a lot were pick me up, I'll start again.